And they're really good about, like my friend went, her mom and just and then he took the hearing aid and said, I'm sorry, and other people feel for her, something else, and they were like, so here's a way to go.
That's so long that I think you can hear it. Especially and once in a while, it's my heartbeat, which I don't think the heartbeat is that she goes silent. I don't have the voice. And then the next thing I do, and I say there's no, I'm going to the, I've been someone's going to fix it. Okay. I go to that's the big zone. That was the one. I
see my
that's the one. She really oh yeah, absolutely. I think the situation and I had an MRI.
I know.
Nothing wrong.
I am.
Well, and the other staying here, so I can use it now. It's because he's always on my left side, snoring in my ear. Anyway, so right.
I'm thinking
He always tells people that. That's what kind of cheese on. It's and does he use sunscreen? Which is a long story. I mean,
It was.
I mean, the nose, I think, let's get together. Somebody's going to get so he was going so you're going to have one here. You know, everybody's surprised. You went down. Thank you. Hearing all the lovely memories and so got so many cards and she was working. I think, did she do what she did? Did she go? And then when she got over. You know, she makes me think she was attention. She was wanting to pay attention, but not
Yeah, sorry, Brian. She loves, and then this kid got pregnant with us. She just said, oh, that's wonderful.
But she started. There's probably a lot to do.
That's a lot. She loved you Barb's coming up.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The only good thing is Berta's not here because I would never follow her. You can never outdo her speeches.
I'm so sorry, this was so quick.
Folks, if I can have everyone's attention, if you have a cell phone, if you wouldn't mind turning it off or on silent, please. I believe Cassidy is going to come up and begin the service.
Hi. I'm going to read something that Sarah prepared and then share a little something of my own. There's a box of tissues over here and over here. All right. Mom didn't like being the center of attention, so I will keep this brief. I want to thank you all for coming and for all of the lovely and comforting messages we've received over the past weeks. She always knew she had many friends, but I think she would have been surprised to hear just how deeply she touched so many people in her life. Her smile, warm hugs, patience, and cheerfulness were part of her nature, but valued by so many in her life. She loved her family fiercely and deeply, and I hope that I can come close to filling her sparkly sandals in this regard. You do. She taught me everything I know about how to be a wonderful human being, which would be too much to discuss now. Instead, I will leave you with a few tips. Always smile and wave at babies while waiting in line at the store. When baking, always sift your flour before measuring. I can't guarantee your cakes will turn out as good as hers, but this is a good start. When in doubt, take a deep breath. There is a difference between good music and important music. Holidays are not about the date, but about the people you spend them with. Fried green tomatoes and How to Make an American Quilt are the best movies of all time. It costs nothing to be nice to people. Most of them are trying their best. Being a parent means teaching your children to be strong adults. And she would always say, your mother is the best friend you'll ever have. And that's the truth. Since becoming a parent, I now understand what she meant. It's hard to read through these tears. When she became a grandparent, she and I both learned that yayas are the best confidants, partners in crime, and playmates. We were amazingly lucky to have her in our lives. Her sudden absence has left a void in our hearts, but we can use our happy memories to fill it. She is irreplaceable. That's really beautiful, Sarah. Okay. Thank you for reading. Of course. Okay, so what I was going to share was about a time when Sarah and I were about 19, and we rode with Vicki down to Star. We were going to drop Vicki off and then go to Myrtle Beach and paint the town. And just before this trip, I had done one of those BMG or music CD by mail order things, and I had a bunch of CDs to bring for the road trip. And it was my turn to play something, and I was saying, well, what do you guys think between Fleetwood Mac or Nine Inch Nails? Because they're so similar. And I remember Sarah was championing Nine Inch Nails, and Vicki wanted Fleetwood Mac. And I was just kind of in the back seat thinking, oh boy, am I between these two? But you couldn't get between those two. But I got to be beside them. And, sorry. I'm so thankful that you all let me be in your lives, and you let me come over for Thanksgiving, which is where I had Vicki's homemade cranberry sauce for the first time. I'd never had homemade cranberry sauce, and now it's what I take to my family's Thanksgiving every year. And of course, if you're at Vicki's Thanksgiving, you have to listen to Alice's Restaurant. So if you ever miss her around Thanksgiving or any other time, you can always listen to that. There was another time, I never told you this, but we were with Sarah at a difficult time, and I was sitting next to Vicki, and I remember saying, Sarah is so strong. And just like Vicki used to always do, she went, mm-hmm. Steel Magnolia is what she said. And that's what you both are. And so, thank you for letting me be a part of this and part of your lives and a part of your Thanksgivings. I really appreciate it. That's it for me. Thanks.
All right, I'm going to give this a go. See if I can get through this without losing it too much. For those who don't know me, I'm Steve Wickman. I'm Sarah's husband, and as Vicki used to put it, her favorite son-in-law. She just happened to have one, and I guess that was me by default. So, two stories, I think. One is in Myrtle Beach. We had flown down there for our first wedding anniversary, and like all good couples do, you take your mother-in-law along on your first wedding anniversary, because why not? And so we're out of the terminal, over to the rental car place in Myrtle Beach. They're about that far apart. And I jokingly said to Mom was outside, and I jokingly said to the lady behind the counter, I said, "You wouldn't happen to have anything red with a pony on the front, would you?" And she just kind of chuckles, and then unbeknownst to me, Sarah walks out a little while later and hands me a key fob with a pony on it. This particular pony just happened to be red, and you could take the top off. So I got to drive these two wonderful women around in a convertible Mustang for the better part of a week, and Mom thoroughly enjoyed it. She would sit in the back seat and she'd get her hair blown all around, and every time we'd get to where we're going, she'd be fussing. I'm trying to get everything put back together, but you could see the smile on her face. Second story is we were fortunate enough, or unfortunate enough, however you want to put it, to stay with her for an extended period of time. Our condo that we were living in and wound up getting flooded. The thermostat ran out of battery in the unit above us, and the supply lines froze and burst, and we woke up to it raining in the condo at 4:30 in the morning. And it was 40 below outside. So it's like, what do we do? So we pack the cats into the cat carrier, drop them at Mom's condo, go stay in a hotel. The girls were at the condo for the first night, I think, right? Anyway, we were there about 5 months. And so we had gone away for the weekend, or we had gone out for the night or whatever, and then the next morning she comes and finds me and fixes me with a stare. I'm like, what? What'd I do? And she's like, no, you didn't do anything. She pointed to the little black and white cat that was across the room. That one did something. Like, okay. I went and got Arby's for the first time in a very long time. I left it on the stairs to go up and change clothes, and when I came down, that little black cat was eating my sandwich.
She was pretty mad.
I am surprised she didn't turn her into a cat skin rug. But all that aside, I have been very lucky to share the past 12 to 13 years of my life, not only with my wife, but with Vicki. Because what I found out very quickly after dating Sarah is when you get one, you get both. And they are inseparable. They are one of a kind, unique, loving, caring, generous, fiery, no nonsense. I will give you the crap of it right back if you do anything else. And thankfully, I was on the receiving end of that only one time. And that one time I learned my lesson so much, I never did it again. And that was before we were married, so I'm surprised she still let me do it. But it's hard now. Because dealing with what has been left behind, not only emotionally, but physically, you go into Mom's place and nothing's tidied away anymore. Things are out of place. But there are other parts of it where it's just so. And those just so. So it gets you every time you walk in the door. It's going to be hard for me to walk in that door for a while. But can't make a big fuss about it because I'd get told. And that's all there is to it. So, thank you for letting me come up here and share. And I held it together. All right. That's all from our family side, I think. If anybody out there would like to come up and share a memory, please, feel free. If Barb wants to come up and tell how much trouble you all get into.
I don't think Barb can, but Luann has something.
Oh, she does.
Luann wants Barb up there to hold her hand.
Okay, well, there's more. There's enough space. Oh, look, there's space over here, and there's in this right in the middle.
Are you saying I need a lot of space?
I'm just saying that you can't weasel your way out of it so easily.
Come on, Barb, we'll do it.
I'll go first.
And if
I'll warm up.
There you go.
and if you need me up here to hold your hand, I will.
Okay, he's gonna go for it.
I'll warm up.
Okay.
I got you back, Luann.
Okay, thanks.
Hi there, my name's Roger Johnson. I work with Vicki in the tech department at Dexter. Mine's gonna be a short one. I really don't have any touchy-feely stuff to say. Just a couple of little things that happened when we worked together. First one was when she helped hire me in there. And I found this out probably 5 years after I started. She told me that initially she didn't like me. I mean, everybody likes me. But what it was is, I'm a little bit deaf in one ear. So when she would speak, she, had that soft voice, thank you. And sometimes I have a hard time hearing, so I would kind of lean over. Well, being she's only about this tall, she'd go like this. And she goes, you always stood so close to me and I hated it. Back up a little. And it's like, Vicki, I can't hear you. Speak up. I have to do the same thing with my wife. Because my wife's one of those people, she's very soft-spoken, and when you tell her to speak up, well, she's speaking at you at 110 decibels. Just speak up a little bit. So that was kind of funny, and that one we had a laugh over. And this one really cracks me up. I still think about it. We were working together one day, and I forget what, something stupid. But we were both kind of stressing about it, and she goes, Roger, with that little smile of hers, Roger, when I start to get stressed, I just look at my little sign over there on the back of my office. She had a little sign, and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and what it said breathe. It said breathe, 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 and the three words were kind of blended together. Well, I'm looking at it, I'm standing in a doorway, and I'm squinting at it, and I said, beat me, beat me, beat me? Really? And she looks at me, and anybody here who knows Vicki, when she gets kind of surprised, she's like, no, Roger, it says breathe. Oh, she goes, I breathe when I start to get stressed. Oh, breathe, breathe, breathe. She's like, yes. So from then on, whenever something happened, be one of those situations where you wanted to get annoyed, she'd go, well, Roger, beat me, beat me, beat me. Yep. And really, that's about all I've got. So if someone else wants to come up, Luann, and your moral support.
Come on, you're my CNI dog.
Do you want me to stay up here with you, Luann?
No,
I'll hold both your hands, okay? What?
and in my family, it's called, never mind.
Ready? So I met Vicki 30-some years ago. The three of us, Barb, Vicki, and I, started as parapros. We bonded in a dark, dank book room in the middle hall at Bates. And if Roberta hadn't popped in now and then, we'd have probably lost our mind, but she was our entertainment. This was also our lunchroom. Segregation was live and well in there in the school. In that room, nothing was out of bounds. That's where we became the three yayas. One day, we were all called in sick and went to Detroit to see Menopause. Next day, everyone acted like the world fell apart. Well, of course, the three best pair-pros called in sick. Yeah. Vicki had one of the worst driveways in winter, and as Barb says, only people from the south that buy a house in the summer buy a house on a hill. I got stuck a few times and had to be rescued by my husband, and Barb has a story about carrying groceries up that hill. I was banned from that driveway. As years went by, there wasn't anything we wouldn't do to help each other. Kurt, because I always volunteered him, single-handedly moved a piano off his truck.
He did.
Vicki called and needed a party tent in the next hour. So Kurt single-handedly, now I'm talking, I don't know measurements, 24 foot by 20, put a tent up by himself.
He did.
You did. Okay, got that. Again, Kurt to the rescue. There was some moving of Sarah and Vicki thrown in there now and then. I had the privilege of going to Vicki's hometown in North Carolina. Vicki's always talked about the general store, the furniture store, and raising chickens, like here a chick, there a chick. Well, the general store was right out of Mayberry. Pickle barrel, checkers, it was awesome. So awesome. Even my husband thought so. The chickens, you know, I thought they'd just run around the yard. There were miles and miles of chickens and chicken barns. Had, like, say, Purdue chickens. Had no idea. I guess Mark called them he sold a mountaineer, whatever, but I had to do some fact checking. To the furniture store, Sarah's Uncle Johnny built her a truckload of furniture that we brought back to Michigan again. And again, Kurt to the rescue. And at the hotel, Kurt got up every hour to check on that damn furniture. And it's like, Kurt, who do you think is going to lift that out of the back of the truck? My God, you know. So he didn't sleep that night.
It's still in my basement.
I
still have it?
I've had to move it. It's not like.
It's no. Barb, Vicki, and I had so many good times, so many lunches and dinners, so many laughs. And I left a part out, but that's okay. And when we went out, I usually drove because, A, Vicki had the seat up too close, and B, we didn't like Barb's driving. I'm sorry, Barb. I'm sorry. So my last vehicle I bought, I had to get a stool for Vicki to get up in it. So I'd, run around, put the stool, get her in there, and get her back in the truck. So many more stories and memories, and if you buy me a drink, I'll tell you things I shouldn't. But one thing for sure, Sarah and Isaac, she loved you so much and talked about you so much. And Sarah, again, anything we can do, minus moving a piano, we will be there for you.
Amen.
Amen.
The piano is gone and there's no keyboard.
Oh, that story will go down forever.
All right, I have nothing prepared, so I apologize. It's going to be a lot of randomness, but I'm Ryan Spencer. I work with Vicki at Dexter for 8 years. Vicki and I were super close. I loved Vicki, absolutely. She was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I was sharing this memory with a couple people, but one of my first, wasn't my favorite memory at first, but one of my first favorite memories of her was after being at Dexter for a few months and just being nervous and being nice with everyone and all of the staff members. She kind of pulled me aside and she was like, "You need to stop being so nice." She's like, "I am the nice one here." So she's like, "You need to find something else." So we would always kind of joke about it. I'm like, oh, so you got some competition. So we would always laugh about that. And it was funny because she would always tell some of her favorites. She'd be like, Ryan's not really that nice. I just want you to know that. So we would always laugh about that. But yeah, just over the years, just all of the lunches we would have together, it was just so nice that we would all come together. Like we would all disperse, go out to different buildings, but we would all come back, have lunch together. Or out in a different building, we would, have lunch. More recently, just, after I left, I would call her on my way home from work and we would have, hour and a half long conversations. And, it was just so wonderful because we didn't skip a beat, and even though, just, you say like, oh, my friend Vicki from work, people assume that similar age. And, even though she was a few years older than I am, it felt like we were just, really great friends and it didn't matter the age. Thinking like over the summer, summer was great because as we were hating life of having to clean iPads or Chromebooks or MacBooks, we would play music. And so we would play, different types of music, whether it was like a different day or the same day. And, I would want to play like more current music and she would want to play maybe more classic rock or something like that. And so she would have to school me on good music, and I would have to school her on like Taylor Swift. But it was so nice because I just actually last year I got to go see Taylor Swift and she was so excited for me. She texted me when I was going there to go see her and she's like, I'm so happy, send me photos. And yeah, so she was definitely a big cheerleader for me going there. I'm trying to think, just like seeing Deanne. I remember a time where Deanne and I were very similar in height and Vicki is not. And so I just remember looking down, over at Vicki and she's like, I don't like this. You two are too tall. I'm trying to think, our birthdays. So when we would do birthdays in the tech department, we would pick, just at random, we would all pick someone's birthday and we would bring a dessert. And one year she got me, which was very exciting because she has phenomenal desserts. But she was not happy that she got me because my favorite dessert is vanilla cake with vanilla frosting. And she was like, I'm not doing that. So she made a wonderful dessert, but she did not do white on white. So, because she could not do that. Just all of the different stories about Isaac and Sarah, and just loved hearing all of the different stories that she would tell. I mean, just being around her, being together, truly, truly phenomenal. I was speaking of breathing. A lot of the time, it was so funny because we didn't notice it at first. It took another colleague to really bring it to light, but she would sigh all the time. And I would too. And so, she's, at her desk, I'm at mine, and then, we're just both sighing at like two different things or whatever. And then it was just funny. And then it just became a joke of just every time we would see each other, we'd go, and then a little secret for the teachers that used to work at Dexter. Yes, we would make fun of the help tickets that would come in, and we would laugh at them. Absolutely, 100%. But we just had so much fun together, and I'm definitely going to miss Vicki, 100%. So thank you for sharing her with us, and she was truly one of a kind.
Awesome. continue on with Ryan's. I'll continue. Can we talk about you? No? Because you know you are her most favorite person on this earth. You know, when you would have your sleepovers and she'd come into the library on Monday and she said, I had Isaac all week. I said, did you make him sleep in his bed? Well, no. That you got to sleep with Yaya, didn't you? Yeah, that's pretty special. So Yaya started loving my son when he was in 3rd grade. We had just moved here. I was a pair at Wiley. She would come in, and Tucker was probably her height in 3rd grade. Clearly not. Anyway, so she would love on Tucker. And so when she got to have her own grandson, I knew she was going to be the most perfect Yaya ever. She came to Tucker's grad party and loved on him then. But there was one incident with Tucker that talked about the school's insecurity. There was a little collision in the cafeteria at Mill Creek. So Yaya pulled up the security camera to show me that Tucker didn't do it on purpose, because she always had the benefit of the doubt that Tucker was doing the right thing. She loved you, Isaac, more than I knew could happen. And then seeing you and seeing your mom and seeing how you talk about her as a son-in-law, it just shows that she was just one of a kind. She loved on me at the library. She would have Sarah come in, and I got to love on Sarah. I got to meet Isaac when they were little. It was just that instant connection with Vicki that she was just the most amazing person. She would bring anybody in and make you feel at home. I'm a Texas girl, so Southern, and she would say, bless your heart, and she would do the little things, and she would love the Southern cooking and the Southern talk and the Southern travel, and so we got to have that connection too. So Vicki was my person at school. She was just the most wonderful, kind, generous, and I see her in you. And when you said about the daughter, it's so true that she spoke of you like you were her other half. And so when you need that connection, it sounds like you have other Yayas too, but I'm happy to fill in. If you need help, if you need playtime at the park, if you need anything, please know I would be a Yaya too. Yeah. Precious, let it back. You know what? You know what? You're doing good. Okay.
Hi, my name is Alicia Hunt. I wasn't going to speak, but I did love Vicki. So I was fortunate to grow up with Sarah. I met Vicki because my mom had started being a parapro at Bates. And when I first met Sarah and Vicki, I said to my mom, I'm not going to be friends with them just because you're friends with her. And surprise, Sarah and I ended up very close. Vicki taught me some important things. She taught me a lot about music. She taught me a lot about how to treat people. And she also taught me about boyfriends. What I mean by this is when I would get a boyfriend that I was a little bit serious about, my mom and Vicki would want to meet them together. The first boyfriend that Vicki met, she didn't like too much. He took me to the prom. She asked specifically that Sarah and I get a picture taken together at the prom so she didn't have to cut any boyfriends out of the picture. When we went over her house later, she told me that was still one of her favorite pictures. I brought another boyfriend home. He was from out of state. I met him in college, and she went, Alicia, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I do not like him. We broke up, so Vicki's advice was good. The next boyfriend I brought home actually stayed with Vicki. We stayed over there, and she met him, and she pulled me aside, and she said, Alicia, I like this one. There were no oh my gods. There were no go dump him on the curb. And she said, you can marry him. I did. So I appreciate Vicki. I will miss her. I know my mom will miss her. If you didn't hear us talk earlier, my mom talks to her still. And I think we all will.
All right. I think if there's nobody else who would like to say anything, I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for coming today. Your presence, and I wish that I could have spoken with others who have already left, but it's hard. There's one of me and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a few more of you than there is of me. But anyway. Thank you so very much for coming. It means the world to us. It means the world to have your support, all the people who have reached out to us with your words and with your cards and with your flowers and with your offers of support. Know that we really, really appreciate it, and we can't thank you enough for everything that you have done for us thus far. This is not the end. Obviously, it's going to be a journey. One we can all get through together, and we'll lean on each other, and we'll share memories and share thoughts and share feelings, and we'll make sure that everybody's taken care of, because we all have each other. So once again, thank you ever so much for coming, and I think that we'll wrap it up for today.